The Miami Dolphins, well, they're 0-3 following a loss in Buffalo on Thursday Night Football. On today's show, we're going to have the latest rumors and overreactions following that loss in Buffalo. I am Nic Rohloff. This is Dolphins Today by Chat Sports. But I do want to start off today's show by appreciating all of the real ones who have subscribed over the last 24 hours. We gained about 700 subscribers yesterday. Across 75K. Appreciate all the real ones who joined the channel. We're still going to be here every day bringing you Dolphins content, 2 videos daily, weekly live shows. So keep on subscribing if you have not already. All right, the first overreaction from Thursday Night Football. Miami, should they cut Tua Tagovailoa? If you're unfamiliar, we go on a scale of 1 to 4 fins. Well, this is going to be 3 fins for me. So it's something that I think we're heading to, but we can't do just yet. The point of this little segment on Tua is that he cannot be the franchise quarterback of the Dolphins much longer. Actually, I think he is flat out incapable of being that guy. Because once again, when the lights were the brightest, prime time, on the road, division rival, in a building you have not won in 10 straight games after the loss last night. He shriveled late in the fourth quarter once again. Look back at last week at home against New England. Down by 3, 5 minutes to go. Throws an interception. Down by 6, 2 minutes to go. Can't get the job done. Then down by 7, under 5 minutes to go. Driving, throws an interception. He simply just shrivels late in the fourth quarter. And the stats have been there. How about this from Barry Jackson? After that INT yesterday, 7 touchdowns, 7 interceptions in his career during the final 5 minutes of a game where Miami is trailing by 1 possession. A passer rating in the 70s. I mean, listen, franchise quarterbacks are paid to do a lot of things. Be the face of the franchise, win football games, and overcome adversity, especially trailing late. Tua is unable to do that. I mean, you look at his passing chart from yesterday, it's check down city, dude. Like, yeah, he takes the one deep shot to Tyreek Hill, which I would argue should have been caught. But, man, oh, man, it is just dink and dunk. I mean, Devon Achane yesterday gets what, 7 carries? Or, excuse me, 7 receptions for 29 yards? Like, that's just terrible. Like, there is no downfield threat with this football team, and it's hard to believe that considering they have Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Listen, throughout the game, did Tua make some plays? Absolutely. In that one drive in the first half, he made a couple big-time third down conversions. And he did it in a couple times in the second half as well, scrambling on 3rd and 6, sliding for the first down. There were definitely some really good moments from Tua last night. But when you factor in the inability to come up big in the fourth quarter and the amount of times it was just checkdowns and swing passes at or behind the line of scrimmage, thought he was pretty mid. And then the interception happens. Pin comment on today's show. Are you done with Tua? I know a lot of fans are, but I want to get your thoughts again. Type Y for yes, type N for no. I'll be looking in the comment section to see what y'all have to say. Now, I gave it 3 fins in terms of cutting Tua. Why is it not 4? It's because you simply cannot cut him. Unfortunate, it is. He's in the first year of his 4-year contract extension where he got paid $212.4 million. And look at the number on the right here. Dead cap. Just simply hard to cut him. If you cut him right now, which the Dolphins wouldn't even do if he was the worst quarterback in football, $137.8 mil. Stephen Ross ain't going to sign off on that. I actually make the argument he's not even going to get cut following the season if the Dolphins fans wanted that to happen. Why? $99.2 million in dead cap. Now, if you find a team where you could trade him, okay, maybe it's a different conversation, but I just don't know who's trading for Tua at this point in his career with this contract. So the first time you could really get out of this deal is following next season. So with 2 years left on his deal, you could cut Tua and only have a dead cap hit of $31.8 mil over 2 years. That's not that bad. You'd actually save $20 million in cap space, by the way. if you ultimately cut Tua following the 2026 season. The point is this, though. He is all but done in Miami, in my opinion, because with the way this season is progressing, Mike McDaniel will not be the head coach in 2026. Chris Grier should not, and I hope will not, be the GM for the Dolphins in 2026, which means you are going to have a new coach, you are going to have a new GM for the 2026 NFL season. And the two of those people, whoever they may be, might have to stick with Tua for 1 year in 2026 because you can cut him. But they will make the preparations and start getting the plan after Tua finalized, whether it's drafting a quarterback next April, whether it's making a signing of a young guy or a trade, like buying low on Anthony Richardson, perhaps. Like, there are many different avenues you could go down to potentially replace Tua in the long term. But the point is, I think it's clear that when Mike McDaniel and Chris Grier go, that signifies Tua has 1 year left on his deal, which is next year, because he will either be traded or he will be cut. Speaking of Mike McDaniel's job, did he actually save it with this performance? Remember, 4 is yes, 1 is basically no. I'm going 1. Now, I want to give him some credit. I do, because I have been the leader on YouTube for the Fire Mike McDaniel train ever since the season started in embarrassing fashion against the Colts. But when you think about a lot of the reasons why you lost to the Bills last night, he does not finish high on that list. Mike McDaniel was not the reason you lost last night. And I actually think he deserves some credit, because after a awful effort in week 1, a bad loss at home where you had miscommunications late to the New England Patriots, this team could have easily rolled over and got blown out by 20 plus against the best team you could argue in the AFC, and a team that has owned you consistently in the past 6 years. But this Dolphins football team came out hard. They played inspired football. I mean, opening drive tells the whole story. 50-yard line where you start the possession, good return by D. Eskridge. 6.5-minute drive, you punch in the end zone with good hard-nosed football. And then when you could have gotten out of this game after the Bills score an answer, you go 3 and out, they score a touchdown, go up 14-7, you go 3 and out again, and then you're able to force a stop. Matt Prater misses a field goal. You tie the ball game up with great play calling, clock management, going into the half 14-0. And then, yes, you give up a touchdown early in the third quarter and you don't respond, but your defense then is able to get a couple stops to give your offense another chance to tie it up at 21. And then if you didn't have the Zach Sealer play, you would have had the ball with 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter, tied at 21. This team had a chance to win. Mike McDaniel had this team ready to play. And that's why it's a little bit frustrating they could not get the job done. More coming up here in a second. But fall is here. Crisp air, football, maybe a bonfire or two. But hey, if you're like most guys, you're still putting in hard work. And yeah, that means sweat. Don't let body odor sideline you. Mando deodorant plus sweat control is for wheel working guys. Clinical strength sweat control. One swipe and you're good to go. It controls both sweat and odor for 72 hours. And after just 12 hours, underarm sweat was reduced by 92%. This stuff works. Mando Starter Pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice, like mini body wash and deodorant wipes, and free shipping. My favorite item is that deodorant wipes because I am always traveling, whether it's going to visit my girlfriend, whether it's running errands in the hot Dallas sun. Either way, if I feel like I need to freshen up, the deodorant wipes are right there for me. I don't leave the house with them not on my person. As a special offer for listeners, new customers get 20% off site-wide with our exclusive code, CHAT. Use code CHAT at shopmando.com for 20% off site-wide plus free shipping, shopmando.com. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Mando's got you covered with deodorant plus sweat control. Say goodbye to sweat stains and hello to long-lasting freshness. Even though I want to give Mike McDaniel some credit for how the Dolphins came out and played in Week 3, this still changes nothing in terms of the long-term plan of getting rid of Mike McDaniel, because he is not the future head coach of this team. He simply can't be. He is who he is. Yes, he had the team prepared, ready to roll this week, and they played inspired, but he can't beat good teams. He simply can't do it. In Mike McDaniel's career, after last night's loss, he is now 3-14 versus teams with a winning record, better than 500. 3-14. That is hard to fathom, man. It really is. Now, he does a great job of beating the teams that are 500 or worse, 25-12. That is why, over his first 3 seasons as head coach, the Dolphins have gone 9-8, 10-7, and then 8-9. He is a 500 coach. He beats who he should, and he loses to who he should. And you will never be elevated to Super Bowl contention with him as head coach. Too many mistakes, too many miscommunications. It just is what it is. And how about this? Speaking of winning records, the Dolphins have lost 8 straight games to a team with a winning record. So you just saw the graphic. They were 3-14 against teams with a winning record, which means they were at one point under Mike McDaniel 3-6, which isn't good, but it's not god-awful, and then you lose 8 in a row. Listen, I think Mike McDaniel can do a lot of good things, but his deficiencies, inability to win big games against good teams, the miscommunications late in games, and sometimes just leaving this team uninspired. Wasn't the case last night, but sometimes this team plays uninspired. There's reasons why he does absolutely need to be fired. Just doesn't seem like it's going to happen this early in the season, maybe later on in the year. Speaking of fire coaches, could the Dolphins fire defensive coordinator Anthony Weaver? I'm giving this one 2 fins. So, it's not going to happen, but we might be starting to creep towards that way because this defense is just absolutely brutal, man. It is, without a question, the worst defense in all of football. It is. They gave up 33 points in week 1, 33 points in week 2, and 31 points in week 3. Quick math, what is that? 31.7 points per game? Somewhere around there. If that's actually correct, how about a sharp play for me? I didn't look that up or use a calculator. But the reason why I was optimistic for this defense coming into the year is because of this front 7. I projected that Zach Sealer, Chop Robinson, Jalen Phillips, Bradley Chubb, Matthew Judon, Kenneth Grant, Benito Jones, Jordan Brooks, Tyrell Dodson, Willie Gay Jr., whatever combination you want to use, would be the strength of this entire football team. You'd be able to stop the run. You'd be able to consistently generate pressure on opposing quarterbacks. Well, through 3 weeks, they have been absolutely abysmal. Jokes. They have not shown up. Zach Sealer got paid and has done absolutely nothing but hurt the Miami Dolphins. I mean, you just saw it. Josh Allen's pressure rate last night was 9.4%. Are you effing serious? I hope you know that throughout the first 2 weeks, in each week's basis, the lowest pressure percentage was sitting around 20%. That is less than half of the lowest pressure rate of a quarterback through the first 2 weeks. And then James Cook averaged 5.7 yards per carry yesterday. You could stop him. Now, you can't blame it all on Anthony Weaver because it is on the players to make the plays in between the lines. But some of these play calls are bad. There was one, for example, that made me want to just punch a wall. It was 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3 in the second half, and the Dolphins dropped 8. They only rushed 3. And one of the players that dropped into coverage was Zach Sealer. I mean, yeah, he's been terrible, but he is still one of your best defensive linemen. Why is he dropping into coverage? And why on earth are you giving Josh Allen a 3-man rush? You can't get home with 4. Can't get home with 5. You think you're going to get home with 3? You just gave him unbelievable amount of time to survey the field and then easy 5-yard pitch and catch, first down, move the chains. Like, some of these play calls are abysmal. They are. We're going to round out the show here in a second, but what say you? Should the Dolphins fire Anthony Weaver? Type F for fire, type K for key. Now, even though I've been very critical of this defense in this video and Anthony Weaver as a whole so far through the year, I mean, you can't fire him. Yeah. The team respects him a lot. He's one of the most well-respected, if not the most respected coach in this entire organization right now. So even though his unit has been terrible, he is a coach that every player respects. So, yes, his play calling at times has been absolutely terrible, but I also think a lot of the defensive blame can be on Chris Grier because the personnel on this defense is terrible. The safety room is a joke. Minkah Fitzpatrick really hasn't done anything. Melifonwu, Ashton Davis have been swings and misses at this point in terms of free agent safety signings. There was obviously no plan to replace corners that you lost, like Kendall Fuller or Jalen Ramsey. I mean, Jack Jones played a good second half yesterday, but this unit's been absolutely awful through 3 weeks. And then apparently, we do have a washed front seven. I mean, Jalen Phillips hasn't done much. Bradley Chubb's had at least a half a sack in each game so far. But other than the one play he's made in each game of that half a sack or better, it's not like he's generating consistent pressure. Did draw a holding call yesterday. So without a question, I think Bradley Chubb's been your best pass rusher through 3 weeks. But if this continues, you're probably going to trade him for like a 4th-round pick at the deadline because you're sellers, and Bradley Chubb is not long for Miami. Point is, personnel's bad, play calling's bad, everything about the defense is bad. All right, I'll do it for today's episode. We'll be live in a little bit on the channel, so if you are watching this early on Friday morning, subscribe and join us for the live show. If you aren't able to join us for a live show, that's fine. Just make sure you subscribe because we're dropping 2 videos every single day, and I'll see you with a video later. Go Fins.